I'm not gonna lie, you look pretty cool.
Yeah, man. All the kids in Soho are dressing like this now.
I
Oh
I
my
just
saw it on
lord.
E.
you watch E.
1, 2, 3, 4. These boys only want the best stuff. They want the cream of the crop. They don't want none of that Michael Bay shit. They want the shit that pops. Oscar bait, black and white. Maybe something French. If it's got more than one explosion, honey.
Yum, yum. If the horizon's at the top of the frame, it's interesting.
Oh
If
my.
it's at the bottom of the frame, it's interesting. If the horizon's in the middle, it's boring as shit.
Oh my. You're fucking How Green Was My Valley.
Yeah, I'm David Lynch as John Ford and Steven Spielberg's The Fablemans,
Pretty good.
if you can believe it.
Didn't win Best Picture though. So
Yeah, it should have won.
just
this picture.
saying.
I'm actually gonna take this off now because
That's it. You're done with it.
yeah, because I'll go
Ah,
blind.
you're making me and Andrew look like fucking idiots.
What the fuck, dude? I'm
I'll keep-
sweating.
If I kept glasses on, I would throw up.
This was your idea.
Evelyn, what are you as this year?
I am Miss Elizabeth Holmes. I do not know if she is currently imprisoned or jailed, but she is the founder of the company Theranos. It was a Silicon Valley operation that you could do a lab test with just one drop of blood. Yeah, she got sued for like $1 billion. So,
Whoa. That's
yeah,
almost as much as I'm worth.
she's
That's
a
a lot of
world
nice.
famous scammer.
That's really good. Great costume.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Ander. I assume you're fucking Barnum Bailey or I don't know, like
First of all, shut up, dude. You know exactly what I am. I am 1953 Best Picture winner, The Greatest Show on Earth.
nice. Well,
Oh my
ours are
lord.
kind of related.
Kind of related, yeah. Starring Charleston Heston, Mary Tyler Morph,
It's not in
Jason Segel. You know, the whole cast of characters. Just figured I'd bring the essence of the Cirque to this proceeding.
That's really good. You know, that looks like
Wow.
the gold vest that they give to Josh Peck in Drake and Josh when he becomes the manager of the theater.
Insane poll, but I know exactly what you're talking
Wow.
about, and you're right. Yeah,
Thanks.
you're
That is a
exactly
deep
right.
cut.
Shall we?
I think we shall. Sorry I was late, by the way. Just kind of putting my costume together.
Costume was an eye patch.
I had to put on a hat. That took at least 90 seconds,
You
right?
usually wear a hat. You're probably already wearing the hat.
Welcome to Oscar Wieners,
Welcome.
the only show on the internet where Hollywood's biggest night puts the lotion, you guessed it, in the basket.
Goddamn right it does.
I am fucking Jergens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Saint Ives, I guess.
I'm Sarah V.
That is really good. We kind of nailed that.
Yeah. Very
This
cool.
is a show.
Smooth. You know
No,
what I mean?
I'm actually I'm Michael.
I'm Ander.
And I'm
Eh.
Evelyn.
Wow, a special guest.
Special guest. We have a special guest.
And don't sell yourself short. We have with us on the show two-time Academy Award winning actor Evelyn Preston. Congratulations. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thanks for
much
being
for
here,
having
Evelyn.
me.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy to be here.
This is a show
Wow.
where every week we talk about what's the smile,
Just
Ander.
excited, dude. I'm just
All right.
juiced. I'm
That's
gassed up.
that's actually nice. Thank you for that. This is a show where every week we talk about a Best Picture winner at random and try to figure out if it's Best Picture worthy. This week we are talking about the 1992 Best Picture winner, Silence of the Lambs, directed by Jonathan Demme. Rest in peace.
He
Died a few
died?
years ago. He died a few years ago, not recently.
Sorry.
I feel like most people have seen this movie or heard of it or seen like Scary Movie 3, which references it or something. And
Yeah.
it's the story of Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster, who she's a FBI. She's a student at the FBI school, and she is called up by Jack Crawford, who's like sort of the head of the FBI, the behavioral crimes sector of the FBI.
He's a big shot.
Jack Crawford, played by Scott Glenn, if you can believe it.
I can't.
Clarice is tasked by Jack Crawford to he's like, hey, you should go interview. We're doing like a behavioral, what's it called? We're trying to create like some kind of like codex for understanding serial killers and their psychology. So like, hey, why don't you go interview Hannibal Lecter at this psychiatric institution? And he's like, there's no ulterior motives here. I just think you should go do this thing. He's like, the men don't really haven't had any success. You're a woman. Maybe that will spring something.
Is that why he picks her?
It's never explicitly said that the reason why she's sent is because like she's an attractive woman and like that will get him like to talk to her. But I think it's funny because I read in the like description, the plot description for the movie, it says that's the reason why she's there. But then in the description it says that is the reason. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like subtext implied.
It seemed that way. Like when he called her into his office, he seemed like, hey, you're a pretty young lady. Do you want to go talk to this psychopath? And then she did. And
why does he sound like ensues. A 40s like boardroom CEO?
The only impression I got. It's the only one I have. Hey there, Missy. Would you like to go talk to young Hannibal Lecter?
Jack Crawford's character, arguably the only man kind of in the movie who's like Clarice gives him a note and he's like, actually, you're kind of right. I'm gonna like when he goes into the room with like the sheriff of whatever town they're in, Clarice is like, that kind of sucked when you did that because like I'm also part of the FBI and I have like higher, jurisdictional authority than any of these like fucking local cops. And he's like, you're actually kind of right. Note taken.
I don't think he's a beacon of hope that you're portraying him to be, actually.
My whole thing is Jack Crawford's actually the hero of this film.
Really?
Believe it or not. No.
Oh God.
No. Yeah. So Clarice interviews Hannibal Lecter, which Evelyn, as you said, eventually it's like it kind of Jack Crawford's like, actually, we sort of want Lecter's help catching Buffalo Bill, who is a serial killer on the rise. I don't know. Buffalo Bill's killing a lot of women, and it's sort of becoming a problem. So it's like, Clarice, we need your help.
You gotta do something.
Getting Lecter's
it's expertise,
feelings about the case. Expertise. There you go. And that's the kind of basic thing of the movie. Clarice has various I'm not gonna we'll work through it. We'll work through the plot.
I like how it starts. It's just some
in the woods.
As soon as it starts, I'm like, this is some Windows Movie Maker ass shit right here. These title cards are just like, here's our basic Arial fonts. It's Silence of the Lambs. That's it. This is it. Here's who's in it. I love it. I love it so much.
My first note for this movie was opening sequence is long.
Where she's running.
It's
but
her
the music is so
running,
good.
doing an obstacle course. I'm like, this is too long.
I dug it though. I like how I think the music is just is a shining character in its own right, and it's just like it doesn't sound like that, but I liked how it sounded.
I believe is Howard Shore did the music. Yeah, Howard Shore, who did the Lord of the Rings music also.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it is a great
accomplished.
score. The movie looks really good. Cinematography by Tak Fujimoto.
Shout out.
Evelyn, actually, I'm gonna hold on you because I feel like, Andrew, no offense, I feel like Evelyn will have more to say. Andrew, what is your relationship to Silence of the Lambs? I love you, bud. I
First of all,
absolutely love that gold vest. You're
excuse you.
shimmering. You are bejeweled.
Yeah, I committed to it. I'm a diamond in the rough today.
Hmm.
I've seen this before. I've seen Silence of the Lambs. I've seen it. I've seen it 2 times, in fact. I saw it once in a psychology class in high school, and once on my own volition. And third time is the charm, because that shit pretty fucking good.
Kind of slaps.
Kind of slaps. It's pretty much it's pretty much without flaw. It's kind of a masterpiece in my mind. It's actually really, really good.
And Evelyn, what about you? What is your experience with this film? This was a movie you chose. I said, "Hey, would you like to be on our show?" That I think I'm the only one who listens to it, but you said, "Yeah, I would love to." And you chose I sent you a list of movies. You chose this and another one that's super secret that we can't talk about yet.
Can't do it.
I was very young. I probably couldn't even say the age. Single digit. So I could have been like 9 or
Let's
8.
say 9.
And I remember my aunt talking about this movie and saying, this is the scariest movie of all time.
Oh,
Always was interested in it. And I watched it for the first time, I think 2 years ago. And I loved it. I thought it was excellent. But
nice.
before this episode, I really didn't remember much from it, even though I watched it pretty recently.
Yeah.
So I watched it twice in a row, and I love this movie. It's an amazing movie. I love it. And yeah, I can definitely gush about this movie for like hours. It's so good. I love it.
Do you feel like it's like a scary movie for people who don't like scary movies? That's how I kind of feel.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I'd put myself in that category because like it's scary. Like it's a good thriller, but I feel like it's like baby's first scary movie. You know what I mean? Like I can handle it, and I'm a big baby.
It's not very frightening to me, and I didn't think it was scary when I first watched it either. But it's definitely the edge of the seater type of movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason we chose this movie to be our Halloween episode is because it's kind of like the only horror I mean, I guess it is a horror movie.
I mean,
I see
Broadway
it more as a
Melody.
thriller, but it is like horror adjacent. It's like the only, horror-ish movie to win Best Picture. So kind of a no-brainer. I agree with both of you. I think this movie owns bones. I think it is just like the fucking best shit you ever saw.
Damn.
And I think, Evelyn, I think it's interesting where you're like, you only saw it 2 years before you rewatched it for this, this podcast, but that tracks for me because it feels like one of those movies that like is so culturally just like everyone just like knows this movie even if they've never seen it, that like, and it's just a movie where like every scene is good, that you're sort of like you forget the order and you're like, wait, it's like you almost remember the vibes, at least for me. I don't want to speak for you, but for me, I remember the vibes more than I remember like scene to scene why stuff is happening. And owns.
Something about Anthony Hopkins' performance, I feel, just is like magical. It just has this magical quality that really sucks you in. And the reason why I knew about this movie, besides my aunt talking about it when I was little, was because of Hannibal the Cannibal. Even though he's I have a fun fact. Even though he's only in the movie for 24 minutes, he won Best Actor, making him the second shortest screen time appearance in the history of Best Actor winners.
Number
So,
one was, of course, the voice actor for Stuart from Stuart Little. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, his performance is it's magnetic. Like, he makes Hannibal seem like he's kind of likable. Like, and he's so civil and respectful.
And Senator, love your suit.
Love you, suit. That's
As he's on like a fucking
awesome.
dolly. He's being
Yeah.
wheeled around a dolly.
cheap shoes.
You cheap shoes. You look like a rube.
As soon as he comes on screen, you're like, I am watching like just some of the best images in cinema history.
Jodie Foster's performance is excellent.
Jodie Foster's
Yeah.
so good.
I watched her Oscar acceptance speech and it was really interesting and really cool because at the end she was just like, it's such an honor to be part of this feminist movie. It's just interesting,
Oh,
even though like feminism's been around for like a really long time, obviously. It's just interesting hearing about people like talk about feminism on like such like a big stage in 1992.
yeah. I mean, there are a lot of scenes where it's evident that sexism is kind of running rampant, and she kind of defies expectations and does all this cool stuff, and she's a cool person.
Well, literally every scene she is in, there's like some man who is kind of he's either like checking her out or giving her like a dirty look.
Yeah, like the stink eye. The
Yeah, it's
stinkiest
like-
eye you can give somebody.
Yeah. It's like she's just like chill out.
You know what else I like? It's so clear cut. Like, I have almost no questions. Like,
I have a few questions.
Let's get into them.
I guarantee I can answer it.
So I was sort of confused by the whole Miggs sequence, specifically Miggs dying, because I guess my prediction is that the whole point of that scene is just to show that like Hannibal sort of cares about Clarice because he kills Miggs.
Who the hell's Miggs?
He's the
The
guy
guy
that
who flicks his jizz at her.
Oh,
Yeah, the guy that
wait,
throws
he
his
kills
jizz.
her? He kills him?
He like talks Miggs into basically killing himself.
yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. So, does Hannibal just like feel so bad for Clarice that she got cum thrown at her that he just decides to give her information? That's what it seemed like. Because like he was a stone wall at first and was like, I'm not going to tell you shit about anything.
Hannibal seems to respect vulnerability.
Yeah.
But he also he obviously he uses vulnerability against people's vulnerability against them. Because Miggs before he famously throws jizz at Clarice as she's leaving the cell or the cell block or whatever. I'm not gonna say it because it's a little nasty, but he says a nasty thing to her, and then as she's approaching Hannibal's cell, and then he's like, what did Miggs say to you? And she like just kind of comes out and says it, and he says something about like, thank you for being forthcoming about that kind of embarrassing interaction.
Yeah, he appreciates
now
it.
I'll give you information. He withholds information until Clarice gives up very personal details about her life.
How does
So-
she know those bug people?
that guy?
That's not my other question, but I'm confused about that too.
Were
She
they
seemed like she
friends?
kind of liked that guy flirting with her, or am I crazy?
Yeah, she was.
All the
giving
other
back a
guys,
little
she's
bit.
like, you're like, she's sort of just sort of like, yeah, like leave me alone. But like that guy, she was like, kind of into it.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they didn't work for the FBI, or like it wasn't some sort of insectology department or something. It was just like some dudes that I think she just happened to know.
What made me even more confused about that is that then they're at the graduation. So I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, are those like supposed to be like the two girls, like Clarice and her friend's boyfriends? Like, I'm like, what is it? I'm so confused by it.
They're
Right.
dating the whole time, just like they just don't tell the audience. We have no idea. It's just behind the scenes. The director knows, but we have no idea.
Personally, I
It's an
thought it
Easter
was
egg.
nasty when they were playing that bug chess.
I thought
Absolutely
that was so
not.
cool. I would like to play it. Well,
It
maybe I
reminded
wouldn't like
me
to
of
play
Harry
it, but
Potter.
I thought it was, yeah, you know what? It is like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
He does the mall's like transform. That's like Buffalo Bill's thing. He's like obsessed with transformation.
Yeah, I feel like we're talking around Buffalo Bill. Should we get into this a little bit?
Let's get
Sure,
into
talk
it.
about Bison Bob.
Buffalo Bill's a serial killer.
Yeah.
They're looking for him. I was say Jamie Lee Curtis. Jodie Foster, Clarice
She's great
Starling
in
is
this.
asking Hannibal about Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill says that he alludes to the fact that Buffalo Bill, played by Ted Levine, by the way, is a transgender person. He feels like he's a transgender person. Hannibal says he isn't actually a transgender.
Yeah, who does Clarice? Because Clarice comes to that conclusion, right? And Hannibal's like, no.
Yeah, something like that. And then Hannibal's like, yeah, he thinks he is, but he isn't. And then I was trying to lay out sort of the naughty stuff of this movie in terms of sort of the trans stuff. And then Clarice, she kind of says like there's no correlation between being trans and committing acts of violence, stuff like that.
It's not a good portrayal. I don't know if so. I looked it up. Apparently, the director was asked about this and said that Buffalo Bill is not transgender.
Yeah,
Or,
I
doesn't
think
desire to be another gender.
I read that same quote. He was saying how like Buffalo Bill is more, he hates what he is so much that he's like, I need to like transform in any way possible.
Yeah, that's kind of his interpretation. Like, do you believe that? I mean, I don't know. You made the movie, dude. I don't know.
Right.
But maybe you're just saying shit just to say shit.
They give like the most obvious notice kind of that Buffalo Bill is not transgender. So I wrote it. I literally have a section in my notes called "The Facts." I said on the topic of transphobia, the facts, because that's something that I feel like this movie gets labeled a lot, is that it's transphobic, which I really do not think it is, because Lecter says that Bill wants to change, and Clary says, "Oh, like is he a transvestite?" She asked if he's a transvestite, and I think then Hannibal says, "Oh, like you're getting closer," or something like that. And then Lecter literally says verbatim that Bill is not a real transsexual, and that he just wants to transform because he's not comfortable in his own identity due to childhood abuse. He says because of childhood abuse, he wants to change his identity. And he goes as far as to apply for SRS, but sexual reassignment surgery. But he's denied.
Because of like violent history or something like that.
So he hates himself so much that he wants to turn into a woman to just completely separate himself from his old self. And so my interpretation of the entire like character of Buffalo Bill is that I don't think that this movie is about representation of trans people, because it gives every indication that Buffalo Bill is not trans. And obviously this wasn't what the movie was trying to say, but I feel like looking at it from a modern perspective, I think it's interesting because a lot of people's ideas about trans people are what Buffalo Bill is. So I think this movie actually is like an interesting example of how that's really not what it is. And it's actually just like cisgender men who like try and like co-opt like the trans identity to like do bad things.
I mean, we also don't know his psychology. Like, we know what Hannibal, estimates his psychology to be, but we also never hear, like, Buffalo Bill never says anything about how he feels about anything. So we can't really say for certain. A lot of it is assumption, and just context clues and interpretations.
Yes, Ander, and also Evelyn. That is very interesting. That's you thought about this way more than I think I'm even capable of. So thank you for that. Yeah, that's. I wish we stop. We pick this up next week while I think about that.
I mean, yeah, fine.
I have to now I have to think this through on the air live. That's
Because
interesting. That's very interesting.
I can see, like, from trans people's perspective how this movie can still be hurtful, obviously. And I'm not going to invalidate that and say that it's not a hurtful representation. You know, obviously the whole, like, I would fuck me.
Sorry.
The whole I would fuck me sequence is a lot. I think that's probably the scene that, like, is most hurtful to trans people, separate from what I was trying to justify this movie as not being transphobic. So yeah, I'm not denying that this movie is, like, not hurtful to people. But I just feel like there is nuance here. There's some nuance, and I think that this movie is great, and I don't think that it is a kink in the armor. Yeah.
Well said.
Like we should kind of end the episode.
Yeah, it's,
I think we got it. I didn't know what
it.
it was, but we got it.
Yeah, I mean, I have some notes about
Jack Crawford can kind of get it, right?
Buffalo Bill seems to only go after cat people. Is that a coincidence? Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, very well said.
Characters in movies can say something, but that's not the point of view of the movie.
Yeah.
Or characters can say something, the movie can think something else, and then a character can represent something completely different than either of those things.
And then your interpretation could be different than all of those things combined.
100%. That's why I find all that stuff kind of... I'm not going to say whether this movie is transphobic or not, obviously, you know. I did read some stuff online about how, you know, trans women find this movie incredibly offensive. Yeah, I could see, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like you were saying, Evelyn, with the I'd fuck me scene. The thing I'll say though about that scene is rewatching it again. So I do think that scene, especially when Buffalo Bill tucks and is like dancing to Goodbye Horses.
I lose my fucking shit every time Goodbye Horses comes on.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bill does have style, though. We can admit that, right?
He has
and
a sort of
music
panache.
taste. Yeah, for sure.
My experience of cis people reacting to that scene is basically right on to how trans people have said that scene gets interpreted, which is look how horrifying it is that this person is like tucking and like they're sort of grasping for this new identity is like gross and scary. Does that make sense? Like that's how it's people feel it's presented. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yes. Like it's shocking, like, to cis people. Like, is that what you meant?
Yeah. It's like, look how gross this guy is for what, you know, like tucking, like putting on lipstick, like, you know. But I actually found rewatching that scene, I actually found it, and Andrew, you were right about how we don't really get a lot about Buffalo Bill, like anything that he thinks or feels. But I did find that scene like kind of sad this time. I was like, I actually feel empathy for the discomfort he feels about his identity.
I just kind of find it lit. That
like
whole scene.
Sick.
Like
sick and cool.
Pretty fucking
I just
tight.
think it's an amazing scene. It makes me smile ear to ear, that scene. And if that makes me a freak, put me right there in it with Buffalo Bill, honestly.
Hell yeah. No, we love it. It's cool. Like the camera panning around, like you see I mean, obviously you see some fucked up shit. He's got like skin suits and whatnot, but you know, It's like the music's pumping.
Allegedly, he has skin
all right.
suits.
Well, it's not. That's not alleged. That part's legit. There are
No, you're
other human body parts.
Yeah, I was joking.
But it is. I agree with you. It is pretty. It's kind of rad, actually.
The set design for his dungeon is insane. It is amazing. I want to I want to take a 2-hour tour in that dungeon.
I think it's also amazing, but I don't want to take a tour. I'll stay at home. I'll stay put.
I like that all serial killers, like, sort of basically without fail, are hoarders. It's sort of like if you have a bunch of shit in your house, you might kill a lot of people and have like a death dungeon that you murder people in.
And which comes first? Do you hoard because you kill people, or do you kill people because you're a hoarder?
You know, Andrew, how last
Who's to
episode
say?
on the Miniver episode, you talked about how the Academy's big milk. What if
Yeah.
all hoarders are serial killers?
Interesting. Let me run this out the flagpole. I'll get my let me get my milk team on it, and we'll see what we can find. You might
The
be onto
milk-
something.
The Milky Boys.
Yeah, his house is a mess. And it's funny when Clarice goes to investigate him, and like you see the bugs start flying around, like the moths.
I would
And
have
you're like,
left.
this dude is this shit's falling apart at the seams right now. Buffalo Bill, you got to reel this in. He's like asking really obvious questions about. He's like, "Oh, you think the FBI is onto the killer yet?" And it's like, "Yeah, dude. She's in your house right now, and she's got you."
It is funny that he like invites her in, because it's like one look at his place and just like him interacting with somebody for more than like 5 seconds, you're like, this guy obviously like has people in the basement, right?
And I love when she. I'll never forget as long as I live when she points her gun at him and he just does the little slip away. It's amazing. It's incredible. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try that next time in a shootout.
Should we talk about the Hannibal sequence when he fucking eats that guy's like ear and then like
Yeah, dude, that scene is so tight.
or his cheek or his nose? What does he bite? He bites
like
somebody's thing.
it's like his cheek area, and he just. That's when that's when you snap back to reality. You're like, oh no, this is a vicious man. This Hannibal, this tricky little Hannibal guy.
Yeah, I also love how theatrical the serial killers are in this movie, though, like Buffalo Bill and Hannibal, because Hannibal takes the time to set one of the cops up on like chains or ropes or something. I don't know how he does that, but he does it.
Is he pressed for time? Sure. It's like that was the first thing I thought, because it's so intricate. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And then he
where's he
cuts
going?
off one of the other cops' face. Hannibal said a cab, and he cut off this cop's face, and he put it on his own, and he lays down, and he's able to get away.
Bon
wearing somebody
voyage
else's
from
face.
there.
Oh yeah, it's Bon
Bon
Voyage from there.
voyage.
That sequence is just really good.
I mean I've seen it before, and even then I just got like giddy with excitement. Like when he just gets up in the ambulance and pulls the face off. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
like almost like as if I'm rooting for him. I'm obviously not, but maybe a little bit I am. You know, I don't know. He's just got charisma. He's got moxie.
Well, that's also why I think he's lead, because like the movie literally takes a break for like 15 minutes to be like, okay, now Hannibal's gonna sort of get away, and like he's gonna
Yeah.
break out of this like jail in this weird building.
And I like that it's kind of unresolved. Like it's almost like it feels like a horror movie in the sense that like, oh, the killer gets away. You know what I mean? I feel like that happens in every like the monster will come back or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the sequel?
Yeah, I wanted to get into this because I saw that you logged Hannibal on Letterboxd.
Yeah, so I was feeling so juiced on Silence of the Lambs that my roommate and I watched the follow-up, and it's maybe the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It sucks astronomical amounts of ass. It was really bad.
A Ridley Scott joint.
Yeah, how?
Julianne
he
Moore
botched it.
plays Clarice, right?
Yeah, but it's still Clarice. Like, it's not... First of all, it's not anything like her character. She's, like, completely different. And also just not really doing a good job at acting. But Anthony Hopkins is still in it. I don't know how they suckered him into it, but it's just it's beyond bad. If you want a good laugh, you should watch Hannibal.
Isn't it like really gross? Like, isn't it really like gory?
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's like it's pure shock value.
Yeah.
Like Silence of the Lambs has, I feel like, the perfect level of it, where it's like there are moments that will shock you, but they're rather sparse. Like it doesn't rely on it so heavily that you'll have nightmares. But maybe some people have nightmares. But yeah, Hannibal it takes it to just stupid extremes. Like a guy gets eaten by warthogs. You see Ray Liotta's brain. It's so stupid and over the top. It's
Poor Ray Liotta.
yeah, as himself, by the way.
Have you seen any of the sequels, Evelyn?
There are more?
I have not seen them. However, I did see on Anders' review of Hannibal on Letterboxd, Michael commented, "Did you watch the wrong movie?" And I was like, I am so excited to record this podcast.
The thing with Ander, I
You'll
love you,
never
buddy,
catch
but
me.
sometimes I don't know with you. Sometimes you might watch the wrong one, and I'm like, oh fucking shit.
No way.
I have
this
not
time.
seen it, but I used to be very afraid of the poster for Hannibal when I was
It's
younger.
a scary poster. Yeah.
Is it just his face?
He's just like,
Yeah.
He's got
it's
like
very
red eyes.
scary.
It's
Yeah.
scary. There are certain movies where like I'd walk into Hollywood Video or a Blockbuster and like I couldn't walk past them because of the DVD cover.
Hollywood Video.
Blockbuster. How old are you?
I'm 73 this year. Yeah, you don't have that like do you remember the movie One Missed Call? I've never seen it, but I just know the cover is like that weird like demon alien thing, and it's just on the phone.
Oh
and
my god, totally.
couldn't-
I had the same fucking thing. That
I
poster
couldn't
is
look at it.
scary.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Even
if you showed it to me now, I would be like, ugh.
Yeah, what is that? It's another poster, Dead Silence, with the puppet that's like, shh.
Oh, no
Oh.
good, no good.
Yeah.
I don't want to in my vicinity.
I was scared of the what is it? The something aliens from space, and it's like it's like clown aliens from space or something.
Oh, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer clowns from outer
Yeah.
space. I was scared of
Shit.
that cover.
Yeah, it's terrible. Wait, actually, I have to see this one because I'm not sure what it
Same.
is.
I was scared.
Evelyn, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually pretty funny.
No,
I feel
it's
like
kind
it's
of
kind of cool.
I feel like now I'm like, is that like a parody movie? I genuinely don't. I genuinely think so, but as a child, I was scared.
No, that poster's scary though. Clowns are fucking scary, man.
They're so goofy though. They're silly little boys. Yeah, it's probably a scary movie. I wouldn't want to watch this movie.
I mean, you can say they're silly little boys because like they're your best friends in the circus.
That's true. I do.
You
work
talk
with
to
a lot
fucking
of them.
Bozo all day on
Yeah,
your
me and
smoke
Bozo
breaks.
shoot the shit by the water cooler.
He helped you steal the hydro flask of ketamine.
Whoa!
But
I signed an NDA. That's getting cut. Not allowed to talk about that shit, dude.
You know who's nasty? Speaking of gross guys
Yeah.
gross people who probably give nasty handshakes. Fucking Dr. Chilton, the guy who Hannibal's
Yeah.
gonna go and eat at the end.
Yeah.
That guy sucks.
Isn't it funny how we're all like, oh, thank God, Hannibal's gonna eat that guy?
that just speaks to his likability.
It's true, exactly.
Totally.
Because they made that asshole like so insufferable
Yeah.
that
Sucks.
we want him to get eaten. Like, yes, Hannibal's getting his meat.
Hannibal's got that meat. That's the tagline for this movie. Silence of the Lambs. Hannibal gets that meat.
All right. So the other nominees, Silence of the Lambs obviously wins. The best animated feature category did not exist yet. It seems like there was only a best animated short category. So, I mean, not that this doesn't happen now, but Beauty and the Beast is one of the nominees for best
Wow.
picture that year. Yeah. What do we think about
Tales
Beauty and the
old as-
Beast?
Tale as old as time.
Well, Silence of the Lambs is definitely better.
For sure.
Very similar movies. Interesting that they both kind of got nominated that year, but I would give the edge to Lambs.
Yeah.
would,
Pretty
yeah.
weird when the Beast skins.
Yeah.
What's that? What's the bad guy's name? Thaddeus.
It's not
What's
Thaddeus.
his name?
I
No,
don't.
it's Gaston.
Gaston.
Gaston. Yeah.
Thaddeus is pretty good though. Pretty solid guess.
I like Beauty and the Beast. I don't love Beauty and the Beast.
Fuck it.
A little slow.
It's a little slow. It's kind of boring. I don't think the songs bang the way they should.
I love I don't know what the title of it is, but the opening song.
When she's just like walking through the neighborhood, it's like I love
Yeah,
reading
I forget
books.
that. I forgot what the
That song's sick. That song is good. That's one of the best songs.
I read books.
Yeah, she's like, I read books, and everyone's like, wow, she's so weird for reading books.
She's like, what an they're like, what an
Oh, God.
outcast. What a loser.
Next up, we have. Usually, I pull up the movies for this. Bugsy, directed by Barry Levinson.
Sorry.
What?
Silly name is all.
Hey, Bugsy. New York gangster Ben Bugsy Siegel takes a brief business trip to Los Angeles. A sharp-dressing womanizer with a foul temper, Siegel doesn't hesitate to kill or maim anyone crossing him. In LA, the life, the movies, and most of all, strong-willed Virginia Hill detain him while his family wait back home. Then a trip to a rundown gambling joint at a spot in the desert known as Las Vegas. Ever heard of it? Gives him his big idea.
There's too much shit in this movie.
There's
I'm already lost.
He's in LA and then goes to Las Vegas.
He's on a world tour, baby.
Yeah,
World
truly.
tour.
Starring Warren Beatty and Annette Bening.
Too
Fucking Harvey
confusing.
Keitel is here. Ben Kingsley. Elliot Gould. Ever heard of him?
Wow.
Damn, that's crazy.
All right, that's a big time. That's big time, baby.
All right. Next up, we have. So nobody's seen Bugsy. Nobody's favorite movie is
but
Bugsy.
I'm
Okay.
glad to hear people are still out here maiming in films. You don't
Really
see
good.
that anymore. You don't see
Really
that.
good.
Yeah.
Next up, we have JFK. Ever heard of him?
Yeah. I got an idea.
Have you guys seen JFK?
No, but I've seen the Seinfeld parody of JFK.
What, the back and to the left thing?
Yeah. Back
Yeah.
to the left.
I have not seen it.
JFK fucking owns absolute bones. It's 3.5 hours. It won for best editing
Wow.
that year, rightfully so. It is one of the most
Sounds like they didn't edit shit.
chaotically edited films you will ever see. Nice. There's like Oliver Stone uses different film stocks. He switches between color and black and white, fucking 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter. He's doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Tripping.
Final movie. The Prince of Tides.
Ooh. Pods?
Ever heard of him?
No. What's he up to?
Directed by Barbara Streisand, Queen.
Really?
Queen.
And starring Barbara Streisand and Nick Nolte.
Old.
A troubled man talks to his suicidal sister's psychiatrist. Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing. About their family history. and
Incredibly
falls in
disrespectful.
love with her in the process. Sounds lovely.
Wow, that is not a conflict of interest.
Yeah. Imagine like your fucking brother poached your psychiatrist. Like, get out of here. Get your own psychiatrist.
I would be livid. That's why I don't have a brother. I'm afraid he would poach my psychiatrist.
Those are the nominees for that year.
To hell with them, I say. Especially Bugsy. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, fucking Terminator 2 came out that year. Absolute masterpiece.
Whoa.
That one for sound, right? I think it did.
Sound effects editing, yeah. Maybe another sound Oscar too. I would swap out fucking Bugsy for Boys in the Hood, John Singleton's movie, because that movie's really, really good. Also has Lawrence Fishburne as the absolute hottest man you've ever seen in your goddamn life.
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah, burning up the screen.
Really? All right.
Is Boys in the Hood Spike Lee?
John Singleton.
Oh, okay.
Andrew, Google Lawrence Fishburne in Boys in the Hood. Before we're gonna have to go to another Zoom to finish this out. But Andrew, just Google it really quick. I want this on the air. We'll wait.
Yeah. Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enhance. Enhance.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, I'm not getting it really.
You're not getting it?
I'm not
Crazy.
I'm not seeing it. I just see Lawrence Fishburne.
You're crazy.
No disrespect to Lawrence Fishburne, I guess, but
And he's a dad. What's hotter?
fine, I guess. You know who else is a dad? Your dad. Is your dad
Yeah,
hot?
and he can absolutely get it.
From my mom, or else there will be papers.
Andrew, do you have any reviews for us?
Boy howdy. So I've taken the liberty. Searched the web. Online. Worldwide. Found some reviews. For Signs of the Lambs. We're about to get the truth. We're about to hear what the people have to say about this film.
Because we're not the people. I want to hear what the people have to say. We're like kind of above the people.
Right.
We're
kind of
God.
like on this pedestal.
We're
Yes.
God. We're
Yeah.
sort of omniscient.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because we kind of are. Yeah. I do consider us lords of sorts.
Like I walk around all day and I'm just like better than that person, better than that person, better than that person.
Evelyn, give me the name. Give me the name of somebody who's just a little dazed and confused.
We're looking for a Miss Britney Spears.
Fair enough. Britney Spears says 2 stars. Good movie and all, but I hate the name. It's not descriptive at all. I've seen this movie like 3 times just because I think Silence of the Lambs, that sounds awesome. I can't believe I've never watched it. I wonder what it's about. Then I put it on and go, oh yeah, that's right. They should have named it Creepy Guy. That way I can remember.
I will never understand people on Letterboxd who are like, this movie's really good, 2 stars, title's bad. And it's like, what are you talking about? It doesn't make any
Honestly,
sense.
I do kind of vibe with it though, for sure. Like, give me the name of somebody who's even more confused than Britney Spears.
Drew Barrymore,
Okay.
because she broke the picket line.
Drew Barrymore says 4.5 stars. I thought this was going to be a satirical comedy about a society where lambs are oppressed by cows or some shit, where they finally break their silence and start fighting for equal rights. So why was it about psychopaths? Huh?
4.5 stars.
That's really good.
Yeah, 4.5 stars for that.
Wow.
Evelyn, give me the name of somebody who's just an expert in the rainforest.
We're gonna go with Jane.
Jane.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Jane says 1.5 stars. He doesn't even know butterflies don't make cocoons. What a fucking loser. So mean. I mean, I get it's a serial killer that they're talking about, but like, still, I feel bad.
That's really good.
Also,
Like,
butterflies do make cocoons, do they not? Am I stupid?
They make-
Am I a loser?
They make
Crystal. Crystalline.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
or
It's a
pupa
sack.
or pupa.
It's a pupa.
I like if we can't call serial killers losers, who can we call a loser? You know what I mean?
Are serial killers losers by societal standards?
Yeah.
I
Because
guess.
like they're way too like being too into something, even if it's murder, is like kind of lame.
So you think they're losers because they're passionate about something? That's the aspect of it that you don't like?
Yeah, they're like, oh, what if I fucking like cut off this thing and like, oh, I'm gonna go to this place and like watch somebody for a long time? Like, stop.
It's like,
Fucking,
oh my
like-
God, we get it. Like you're
Like
obsessed.
spread your passion around, you know.
Only cool if they're like, whatever about it.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
do
they're
that.
like they have to be nonchalant about it, but they're
I just-
fucking
Right.
Just killed someone. No
Yeah.
big deal. Whatever.
Yes. Like
They
I
just
can't
don't
stand
stop
it when I go
talking
into
about it.
Yeah. Like if I walk into a Starbucks and some guy in front of me is like, "Oh, I cut off his tibia," and I'm like, "All right, who gives a shit?" You know what I'm saying? It's like so
yeah.
relax, you know?
The fucking Zodiac killer was such a loser because he's like writing these like little letters and sending them to the newspapers to be like, oh, I killed this person, and like he's like cutting off clothing and like stop being a loser.
It's so
You want
lame.
attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's so desperate. Anyway,
If somebody called him a loser, he would just go home.
any more reviews? Is that all?
Those are all the reviews I have, folks.
Okay. Do we think this movie's Best Picture worthy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Same. I think it rules. I think it's good.
It is unusual, I guess. It's like the only scary-ish movie that the Academy was like, that's the one.
I sorted the Best Picture list by genre for horror, and it's the only movie that's considered horror.
Damn.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I was shocked because I'm like, didn't Get Out win Best Picture? And it didn't.
Shape of Water, baby. Shout out to Shape.
Yeah. No, Get Out, Lady Bird, Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, they all lost to a little movie
Little bit
about
of
a
fish kissing.
merman.
I love Phantom Thread. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's an absolute masterpiece.
I feel like crying thinking about that movie. Oh my god, it's amazing.
Rules.
Sorry.
Nobody has sex with a fish in that movie. I've never seen it, but I'm just gonna assume.
You must have missed the post-credits scene then.
Yeah. Nick Fury shows up and
I
he's
was
like,
gonna
have sex
say.
with this fish.
All right. You've hooked me in. Pun absolutely intended.
We said last episode we're going to talk about fucking One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but we're switching it up. This one's coming first, and then next week we're going to talk about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So, are you
Wait,
keeping track?
That's not true.
What's up?
I don't think is that gonna happen?
Huh?
Well, are we gonna do One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and release that one before this? This one's coming out.
This is going in the podcast.
Oh,
Keep Andrew, keep this in. I was thinking this could come out Friday
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it won't work out. It won't work out. We won't make it in time.
You're right. All right. Continue. Go off, King.
So next week we're going to talk about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a normal movie.
Great sell.
Um,
Awesome.
Evelyn, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
made this-
guys.
You made this podcast, like this episode particularly, way better
Hell
than
yeah.
it would have been if it was just us. Like Andrew, I mean, you saw Andrew's. I had no notes. Andrew was like, the handshake was kind of gross. You know what I mean? That would have been the level we were at.
Sexism.
Yeah. Andrew would have just said sexism, and I guess we would have moved on. But thank you for all of the stuff you brought to this. You brought a lot of you made a lot of great points. You said a lot of really smart things, and that's good, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for stroking my ego, number one. And thank you for having me and letting me talk about amazing movie and movies in general, because gotta love them.
Gotta love them.
Love a
Gotta love 'em.
picture. I love a picture.
Yes.
Movies. Gotta love them.
Evelyn will return.
Whoa.
Put that at the end of the episode. Put that at the end of the, you do the Oscar Wieners will return. Do like Oscar Wieners and Evelyn will return.
You got it, boss.
So
I will be back. I'll be back.
nice.
That's Terminator 2 reference. Right?
Do specifically.
Yeah.
Guys? Don't
You're
leave me hanging.
like Judgment Day. You ever see that one?
You ever see that one? Not but still, same here.
So, what I want everyone to do is, order a hot dog.
Yeah.
Get rid of the bun because this is a carbless podcast.
Going.
Boom.
Buy some romaine. Do like a lettuce wrap
Ooh.
hot dog. Dip it in some spicy mayo. Take a little munch. Decide that isn't good enough.
Huh?
Get a little mustard.
Yeah.
Get like a what are those things called? Like beer, like where it's like multiple beer things.
Oh, a flight.
A flight. Thank you though. Get a flight of various dipping sauces, an aioli if you can imagine it. Ketchup, mustard,
Okay.
relish even, and just see which one tickles your fancy. Which dipping
Nice.
sauce is the right sauce for you?
And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And shameless self promo. Follow me on Letterboxd at Milky Fawn. That's MILKYFAWN.
Incredible.
Sick.
Yes, I am
Incredible.
23 years old.
Amazing.
If you
Incredible.
can believe it.
I guess
Sick
follow
name.
me. I'm Mike OBRY. Andrew hates films.
Don't follow me. Or do.
Yeah, Andrew wants to be left alone.
Let him leave me the fuck alone, dude.
All right. See you next week. Wieners.
1, 2, 3, 4. These boys only want the best stuff. They want the cream of the crop. They don't want none of that Michael Bay shit. They want the shit that bops. Oscar bait, black and white. Maybe something French. If it's got more than one explosion, honey, put that shit on the bench. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners. These boys are the Oscar Wieners. Oscar Wieners.
Oh yeah, I wasn't recording.
Fuck. Why?